Hey Rick, straight up, you know what you did first time we gave you a pass on the Larry Hoover Big Meek song. You was supposed to took care of some business you didn't take care of. You know who you need to tune in to. It's right here.
Rag, nigga.
We up on you. We pressing up on you the whole Maybach. It don't,
Music.
don't matter who in music. Everybody on your label is in trouble.
GD4! GD4!
I want to remind Soulja Boy, you ain't got no mother ops. Nigga, you ain't got no mother ops. Nothing about you was street. Let's go back over your career. You got rap rivalries. You ain't got no opposition.
This time out, why am I, man? The hell y'all, man, cause I'm a real live pyro. I put in work for this shit. Couldn't be no blood for no money, nigga. You better go to the crib neighborhood and go beat somebody up or rob some pistol whip something, nigga.
We all know that some rappers put on a tough persona to attract fans and boost their image, pretending to be gangsters to gain views and seem intimidating. They want the glory and street credibility that come with the lifestyle, but without actually living it. More often than not, this leads to serious consequences for the rapper, as the real gangsters don't appreciate someone taking credit without earning it.
I mean, someone like Chris Brown he got a lot to lose.
I mean, but Chris Brown ain't in it. He just affiliated. He not in the streets putting in no work.
We've got too many rappers fake banging that it's become so common to see videos of OGs calling them out for it. I mean, some of you can still remember the video of Trey D flaming fake gangster rappers after the Chris Brown incident.
Only thing about it that bothers me is that they don't know what they really getting into or could be getting into. Because, I mean, people make themselves targets.
Then there's the video of King Yella bashing Christian Combs after he tried to affiliate himself with a Chicago gang. And of course, some of you can also remember when Red Rum went hard on Rick Ross. Apparently, the allure of being a gangster has always been a powerful selling point in the hip-hop world, but not every rapper who claims that life is really about it. Some just wear the persona for the fame and street cred, talking big about being tough, but when it's time to back it up, they get caught slipping. Let's check out a few of these rappers, starting with Rick Ross. Rick Ross is a name that hardly needs an introduction. He's a heavyweight in the rap game, both as an artist and a record label owner, known for his booming voice and larger-than-life persona. He's made a massive impact on hip-hop. Despite growing up in a rough area just north of Miami and being involved with street music from a young age, Ross wasn't exactly prepared for some of the real heat that was coming his way when he messed with the wrong people. Back in 2012, Rick Ross released the song BMF, which was a nod to Black Mafia family, and in the track, Ross famously said, "I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, whipping work, hallelujah."
I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, whipping work.
While the song was a hit, it caught the attention of the Gangster disciples, GD, specifically a man named KK who led a group called the Hate Committee with the GDs. They weren't too happy with Ross name-dropping Larry Hoover, the founder of the Gangster disciples, without their permission.
Public service announcement right here, straight to the point. This straight at Rick Ross, the whole Maybach Music is here. Hey Rick, straight up, you know what you did first time we gave you a pass on the Larry Hoover Big Meek song. You were supposed to took care of some business you didn't take care of. You know who you need to tune in to.
KK felt that Ross was out of line, and in response, he released a video on YouTube threatening Ross and effectively banning him from Georgia. This wasn't just any beef. It went viral across the hip-hop world, and the pressure was on Ross to respond. At that time, Ross was riding high on the success of his label, Maybach Music Group, MMG. MMG was dominating with artists like Meek Mill, Wale, and French Montana, all dropping major hits. Ross was in the middle of a massive tour promoting his album God Forgives, I Don't, selling out stadiums across the country. However, just weeks after KK's threatening video, Ross suddenly canceled the rest of his MMG tour, including dates in North Carolina, where the local GDs had posted a video with a similar message to KK's. Immediately, rumors started flying that Ross was scared of the GDs, and that's why he pulled the plug on the tour. People were convinced Ross had backed down. On December 10th, 2012, Rick Ross took to the radio to clear things up. He denied that the GDs had anything to do with the tour being canceled, claiming it was just business and not about any threats.
The rest of the tour due to the promoter wasn't really handling his business, you know what I'm saying? He canceled a date of mine. I was going to Tucson, Arizona. There was some power that I needed to take away from homie, so I canceled the rest of the dates. And never was it due to any threats. You know, I'm a certified man. I am a real boss. Never get it twisted. Ricky Rose is a boss. I'm certified worldwide. I could put 1,000 gangsters in any hood, put pull up the footage of me walking out in Chicago on the stage with the chinchilla dragging on the floor, you let me know if that's the swagger of somebody that's in fear of their life.
But despite his tough talk, things took an even darker turn. Fast forward to January 27th, 2013, which was Ross's 37th birthday. After celebrating in Brickell, Miami, Ross was driving home in his Rolls Royce with a woman named Shatira when his night took a dramatic twist. At around 4:42 a.m., a car pulled up next to him in Fort Lauderdale and someone inside opened fire. Ross hit the gas and sped down Los Olas Boulevard, trying to escape the shooters. In a panic, he swerved onto 15th Avenue and lost control of the car, crashing into a nearby apartment building. Luckily, both Ross and Shatira were unharmed, but it was a close call.
A drive-by shooting on Los Olas, a gunman, police say, aiming at rapper Rick Ross. The 911 calls just released.
Oh my God, they're turning around and coming back. Okay, I'm hanging up.
Callers hiding, Rick Ross trying to get away, ramming his Rolls Royce into a nearby apartment building.
The police got involved, of course, but Ross wasn't talking. He refused to give any details, leaving the case unsolved to this day. People have speculated about who was behind the attack, whether it was the GDs making a statement, some local Miami beef, or just a random incident. But given the timing, many believed it was the GDs. In 2016, things got even more suspicious when an Atlanta GD member named Markel White made a shocking revelation during a court testimony. He claimed that after the shooting, Rick Ross agreed to pay the GDs $6 million to get them off his back. In the end, he said the final payment was $3 million. He didn't go into specifics about who got the money, but it's not hard to guess.
Mr. White, did you ever learn from any of the Gangster disciples whether or not anything ever happened as a result of those videos directed at Rick Ross? From my understanding, he ended up paying like $3 million.
Next up, we've got Soulja Boy. The world first met Soulja Boy when he dropped the viral hit Crank That in 2007, and overnight he became a superstar. He caught the eye of a lot of industry vets, and it looked like he was on track to becoming a global sensation.
Soulja's special. He's a young artist that's going to turn into something extremely different from what you thought he was in the beginning of his presentation, because he's growing up in front of you.
But that buzz didn't last too long, and before he knew it, his fame started to fade just as quickly as it had come. As the spotlight dimmed, Soulja Boy began chasing it all in the wrong ways. He started lying to get attention and adopted a completely different image, trying to come off as a hardcore gangster.
Finesse, flex, 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 flex.
This shift from the fun, dance-heavy tracks that got him famous to a darker, more violent persona didn't do him any favors. The turning point came when his house got invaded and he allegedly emdered the intruder.
One run to the front door. I hop out, I start shooting. Bow, 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 bow. Shot bow, shot his bow, 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 bow.
After that, Soulja Boy seemed to ditch his kid-friendly image entirely. He started rapping about guns, women, and violence, trying to project a tough guy image to the world. But this gangster persona only made him look more like a clown to most people. And if the general public saw him as a joke, you can bet the real gangsters saw him as an even bigger one.
Soulja Boy, you ain't from the hood. No. Who gave you permission, man? Stop it. Stop it.
The OGs in the streets don't respect him at all, and they've called him out on his nonsense repeatedly.
Hey, shout to my love, free swagger, shout to hop out. Hey, why am I? Hey, y'all, man, cause I'm a real live pyro. I put in work for this. Couldn't be no blood for no money. You better go to the crib neighborhood and go beat somebody up or rob some pistol whip something.
One of the most embarrassing moments came when Soulja Boy went to their turf to prove he was one of them. He ended up humiliated and nearly got hurt.
Hey, what's going on, man? They say Soulja ain't from the hood. Hey. They say Soulja ain't from the hood. Get off me, though. Oh, man, that's like me, though. What's happening?
The only reason he walked away unscathed was because he had paid off the right people. Otherwise, it could have ended very badly for him.
People want to know how could Soulja Boy just pull up over here and walk around like that? He can't.
He got a lot of
He got
on me.
I mean, he got pan nigga. Yeah. Well, right, pan OG certain nigga. talking to the right OGs, that's all it is.
Claiming gang ties on social media is risky, but pulling up to the hood to back up those claims was downright dangerous. Things just kept getting worse for Soulja Boy. Nobody takes him seriously anymore. Not his fans, and definitely not the streets he claims to be part of. Next up is King Harris, T.I.'s son. Now imagine raising your kid in a multi-million-dollar mansion, giving him the best of everything, and then watching him try to act like he grew up in the streets. That's exactly what happened with T.I.'s son, King Harris. He's out here flashing gang signs, trying to act tough, and honestly, it's getting pretty embarrassing for both him and his family.
Talking, Julio, get your in the boxing ring. I want to speak on. Hey, I hear a lot of these have so much to say when it's viral, but when I tell them,
you are embarrassing yourself and your family. You embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself. You are embarrassing yourself. Man, what is she talking about?
For example, not too long ago, T.I. and Boozy Badass had to step in with some unplanned parenting. Their sons, King Harris and Tootie Raw, were in the middle of shooting a music video, and these boys thought it was a great idea to flash guns on camera. Thankfully, their dads weren't about to let that slide. T.I. and Boozy shut it down real quick, making it clear they weren't having any of that nonsense. In a never-before-seen clip, you can see Boozy and T.I. going off on them, explaining all the trouble they could get into if the wrong people saw the video.
What is it about the gun, man? Well, in the manner in which you portraying lifestyle, this looks like sir. Can't do it. What kind of parent gonna support their kids and they'll goddamn slide, riding, and popping? And you got a gun in your book there?
Boozy had just been telling T.I. how their boys were finally making some positive moves in their music careers, only to be blindsided by the violent direction they were heading with this video.
What is it about the gun, man?
It's not illegal to have a gun.
Well, in the manner in which you portraying this lifestyle, this don't look like sir. Because I'm not supporting no whole. Can't do it. I'm not. What kind of parent gonna support their kids and they'll goddamn slide, riding, popping? Got a gun in your book there?
T.I. broke it down for them. The cops could show up, demand gun permits, and before you know it, they'd be knee-deep in legal trouble.
When y'all got drugs around those legal guns, they call it's not possession of a firearm and commission of a crime, sir. That is a felony. I can't believe this. What happened to? Don't make no motherfucking love music. You got girls out here. Why don't you talk about being in love, man? Why don't you talk about wanting to lay down and you know? We got this.
The footage seems to be from last year, back when King was rocking those blue raspberry-colored twists. And while the video hasn't been released yet, it looks like the tough love worked because the boys seem to have steered clear of that kind of trouble, at least for now. Both T.I. and Boozy have been vocal about their concerns for their sons. Boozy has called out Tootie before for wearing ski masks in public, saying it sends the wrong message. T.I., on the other hand, has been trying hard to separate King from the D-boy tendencies he seems to be embracing. But let's be real, the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. These boys grew up watching their dads who helped build the foundation of Southern street rap. They are clearly inspired by their fathers, but the difference is T.I. and Boozy have lived that life, survived it, and moved on. They're trying to guide their kids down a different path, but it seems like King and Tootie are playing a dangerous game they don't fully understand. People have been saying that these kids are tone deaf, acting like they're from the streets when they've lived far from it. This music video, for example, wasn't just a potential legal nightmare. It could have also drawn attention from people in the streets who don't take kindly to kids pretending to be about that life. There's a big difference between real street life and the image these boys are trying to push. But the music video isn't the only wild antic from King Harris. Remember when he allegedly threatened to pistol whip a Waffle House employee?
And you still talking inside though. You still talking inside though. Why you inside? Can't stop me from doing shit.
Or that time he almost pulled a gun out of his backpack during an argument with some random guys in an Atlanta parking lot. He was threatening to shoot up the place, and people were shocked at how reckless he was acting.
What you want to do? What you want to do? You from here?
Yeah, I'm from here. Yeah, I'm from here.
Alright, so. Oh, hell, y'all, let's go. What's up with you, bro? What's up with you, bro. Let's go. Put your hand around me, talking out your ass like you want to do something. What's up, bro?
And if that wasn't enough, King once paid a homeless man to do the hot chip challenge without water. The same challenge that tragically led to a kid's death not too long ago. Instead of helping the guy out, King thought it would be funny to pull this stunt for entertainment.
There's a different flavor, but it's still hot. So look, there you go, $50, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Oh,
Even T.I. has spoken about how disappointed he is in his son's behavior. He and his family have been trying to reel King in, but it seems like King isn't listening.
Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas, his going to prison. If you got to keep this up, they're going to prison. Ain't no way around it.
Then, as if all of this wasn't enough, King went on to do an interview where he denied being raised by T.I. and Tiny. He tried to distance himself from the privileged kid label, saying he wasn't some rich kid raised in a mansion. He even claimed he was brought up at his grandma's house in the hood, which had everyone scratching their heads because we all know that's not the case. King grew up in a gated community surrounded by luxury, yet he's trying to rewrite his backstory to sound like he's from the streets.
I live with my grandma. You know, we'll go to the house on like a weekend. They'll say, hey, we shooting today. We need y'all at the house. They'll come get me from my grandma's house. And right after we done, when the cameras go off, I'm right back to my grandma's house.
And let's not forget the incident at the Atlanta Falcons game. T.I. was set to perform, and during some playful family banter, Tiny exposed King's story on Instagram Live. She revealed that the only reason they used to take King to his grandma's house was because he kept begging to go there, not because they left him in the hood as he's been claiming.
that's why I want to be over there. But they don't understand that.
No, I'm gonna tell you the reason why he want to be over there. Because he can suck and pacify over there till he was 12 years old. He was sucking pacify till he was 12 years old. He couldn't do that in the house. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people think King got embarrassed when his mom aired that out publicly, and that might have pushed him to start acting out even more.
I know you. What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all doing that to me? Y'all know me. You know I stand on business. You know I stand on business. Why you even letting somebody play with me like that? Why you letting somebody play with me like that?
But here's the thing. King completely forgot who his dad really is. T.I. is the original gangster in this story, and he's been standing on business long before King was even born. And he got a taste of that when T.I. had to step in and allegedly put King in a chokehold to set him straight like any father would when their son is wilding out. King tried to act tough, but he ended up looking foolish and embarrassed his whole family in the process. The internet had a field day with King's antics. Memes started popping up everywhere clowning him for pretending to be something he's not. People were quick to point out that King is living a fantasy, trying to convince himself and everyone else that he's from the streets, when in reality, he's had a privileged life. His parents are millionaires, he grew up in a celebrity household, and he's trying to act like he's straight out of the hood. It just doesn't add up. Up next, we've got another celebrity son trying to flex, Diddy's son, King Combs. Imagine this, your father is currently one of the most talked about and controversial figures in the industry, and instead of staying under the radar, you're out here trying to claim you're part of a gang, flexing street credibility you don't have. That's what people are accusing King Combs of doing.
Been around him, like Christian Combs is like one of those, he's a player, like he's like not necessarily like he's a bad guy, but he's just like, he's a girl's guy. It was alarming when people seen a video of King Combs, this is Diddy's son, going up and I think shouting GD. I don't even say the other thing.
In fact, Christian apparently released a diss track aimed at 50 Cent of all people, where he threw around threats toward anyone who disrespected his family. He even went as far as to say he has connections to Chicago's South Side, talking tough as if he's got street ties. But of course, nothing is buying it, and most people are calling it out as a dumb move.
So now, of course, King Combs has a diss track to 50 Cent. So much wrong with that sentence already. Yes, there's so much wrong with that sentence.
So things really escalated when a video surfaced online showing King Combs shouting out GDK, Gangster Disciple K'er, and flashing hand signs associated with the Rakes, a term connected to the GD's, Gangster Disciples, one of Chicago's most notorious gangs.
Thank you, baby.
GDK.
I don't know why that's such a popular trend for people to say that thing.
This clip went viral and people started questioning what King Combs was really about. Why is Diddy's son, born into wealth and fame, suddenly claiming to be part of a gang, especially a gang that comes with a lot of baggage and real danger? One of the people who quickly called him out was King Yella, a legitimate member of the Gangster disciples. In a video addressing the situation, King Yella expressed both confusion and concern about Christian Combs' sudden affiliation with GDK. He said, "So I look on the internet and I see Puff Daddy's son come out saying GDK. Yella couldn't believe what he was seeing, especially considering the legal storm surrounding Diddy.
So I look on the internet and I see Puff Daddy's son come out with GDK. It's not a good time while your daddy fighting all these allegations and crazy stuff he got going on with him right now."
Yella made a solid point when he asked, "Why would you even try to involve yourself in anything GDK right now?" He emphasized how bad the timing was, pointing out that with everything going on with Diddy, the last thing Christian needed to be doing was trying to throw himself into a street life he clearly knows nothing about.
Why would you even try to involve yourself into a GDK movement or anything, gang? You was born famous and rich and famous. Like, what are you doing?
Yella didn't stop there. He dropped a surprising piece of info saying that King Combs had actually reached out to him for advice about making drill music. Yella was shocked that Christian even wanted to go down that road. He said, quote, "Bro, why would you want to do drill music? You don't come from the streets or come from none of that. You were born famous, not from the streets. Come from a rich daddy that's fighting a bunch of allegations and crazy stuff. And you want to come talking about GDK?" Yella was basically telling him to stay in his lane and not try to play a role that doesn't fit him.
On the phone. You forgot we was on the phone? And you asked me, should you do drill music? I said, bro, why would you do drill music? You don't even come from the streets. You don't come from none of that life. Never, not from the streets. Come from a rich daddy that's fighting a bunch of crazy stuff right now. And you on there talking about GDK.
And Yella wasn't wrong. He warned Christian that the GDs in Chicago aren't the type of people to play with. He even said, "Don't let them GDs get what you, dude. Goofy."
Don't let them GDs get up with you, dude. I just saw you. Then I just see you at the Lovers and Friends concert. You took a picture with me. Why you ain't tell me to my face you GDK? Goofy.
It was a clear message. Christian's attempts at claiming street credibility could backfire in a very real and dangerous way. The video of King Combs shouting out GDK and throwing up gang signs quickly became the center of attention on social media, sparking a ton of reactions. Many people agreed with King Yella's critique, questioning why someone born into privilege like King Combs would even pretend to be connected to street culture. One person commented, "Screaming GDK from your pop's $12 million mansion is a form of insanity I thought I'd never witness," while another chimed in, quote, "I'll never understand why rich kids try to act hood." Another person took it even further, saying, "He better shut up before Diddy catches another body," referring to the rumor that Diddy allegedly blew up Kid Cudi's car over his interest in Cassie. But things took an interesting turn when King Combs responded on Instagram to shut down the rumors. After seeing the backlash, he made it clear that he wasn't actually affiliated with any gangs. Quote, "I ain't affiliated with no gangs and I'm not a gang member," he said, trying to put an end to the speculation. However, King Yella didn't let it slide. He quickly replied in a now-deleted post, sarcastically thanking King Combs for capping and reminding him that he was still wrong for even acting like that in the first place. Yella wrote, quote, "You live a good life, stick to it, cause this gangbanging-ish is not where it's at. We can switch spots if you want to." He doubled down in his video, claiming he had the power to make people apologize for renouncing gang ties. He even said, "Hey Puffy's son, I'm proud of you, man," before adding that he's known for getting people to confess they don't gangbang. King Yella also used the opportunity to address a bigger issue, drawing attention to the difference between people who come from privilege and those who come from poverty. He challenged King Combs to really think about his actions and how they contrast with his upbringing. Quote, "You were born with a silver spoon," Yella said. "If you want to be a gangbanger, let me be a millionaire, billionaire, son. I'll take that." He went on to explain that people who grew up in poverty are fighting for a better life, trying to escape the streets, not embrace them. Quote, "I don't want to gangbang. I don't want to live like this. I want to get the bag so I can provide for my children, Yella added. His message to King Combs was simple. Don't throw away the privileged life you were born into by pretending to be something you're not. It's not a good look, Yella warned, advising King to steer clear of anything that could drag him into the dangerous world of gangs. Interestingly, King Combs isn't the only star recently forced to deny gang ties. Chris Brown has also been under fire for supposedly affiliating with the Piru Bloods. People have been saying for a while now that Chris has this odd obsession with gang culture, despite the fact that he never really came from that world. It's a strange situation because most artists who do come from rough backgrounds try to leave that life behind, but Chris seems to be drawn to it even though it doesn't align with his upbringing.
They got me in already tonight.
In 2013, Chris found himself in a pretty scary situation at a Hollywood nightclub. A guy who claimed to be a member of the Crips started threatening him. This guy hurled a bunch of expletives at Chris and asked if his Lamborghini was bulletproof, making it clear he was a full-fledged gang member. Chris, knowing the dangers of escalating the situation, chose to keep his cool and not engage. He later told TMZ, "It's LA, brother, you just gotta keep your head down and keep walking."
Yo, scary ass Chris, is that bulletproof? Is that bulletproof? I'm a Crip. Hell yeah, I'm bulletproof.
Despite these threats, Chris tried to use his influence for good. In June of that year, he released a video for his song Don't Think They Know, which carried a strong message against gang violence. The video opens with the words, "Every 2 hours in America today, a child dies of a gunshot wound. And unity is what we're afraid of, so fear is insanity. Let's love each other." The video, shot in black and white with flashes of red and blue to represent the Crips and Bloods, aimed to highlight the harsh realities of gang violence. Chris explained, "When I did the video, I wanted to do kinda like the Boys in the Hood theme, also bringing an aspect of the side of the world that people never really talk about anymore. Gun violence or stuff that we deal with in our neighborhood or community that we could just stop." This message was powerful and appreciated considering Chris's huge platform and influence. But a few months later, Chris did something that seemed to contradict his anti-violence stance. In August 2013, while in Hawaii, he spray painted some graffiti that read Fruits Piru, a reference to the Fruittown Piru gang, which is affiliated with the Bloods. This action raised a lot of eyebrows and led to criticism. The following year at the BET Awards, Chris once again appeared to show support for the Bloods. At an after party, he was seen flashing gang signs.
They got me in already tonight.
This move sparked even more backlash. People found it puzzling that Chris, who grew up in Virginia far from the gang culture of LA, decided to embrace these gangs in his mid-20s, especially after working hard to clean up his image following the Rihanna incident. In an interview with Vlad TV, rapper Trey D, a known Crip, expressed his confusion over why successful artists like Chris Brown would even want to associate themselves with gangs after making it big. He said, "It has to either be a psychological defect where you don't want to enjoy your life and wealth. I see it as a peer pressure aspect. Is this what you really want for yourself? Or do you feel this is the only way you'll be secure in certain areas? So are you buying into it for protection?"
Why would you want to be rich and start fighting people? I mean, it makes no sense to me. So the peer pressure aspect is that, you know, is this what you really want for yourself, or do you feel that this is the only way you'll be secure in certain areas?
Trey D's comments hit on the strange contradiction of being rich and famous, yet still feeling the need to prove yourself in the streets. What do you think of the list? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll catch you in the next video.